Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. Hi, Wanda. Hi, Robin. Hi, we just parted ways at on Nikki B's program, and I figured, well, I'll go live tonight because we were flipping over some interesting rocks and talking about what we found underneath them. So that was a lot of fun and very informative. But as you can see tonight, I want to talk about are the Dems turning on Crazy Joe? Is it time to ditch him? Is he getting too hot to handle? Too dirty? Is he stinking out the joint? So, as they used to say. Um, and then we also have on the end of my thumbnail, persecutions down south. Our own southern neighbor in our own hemisphere. Uh, we'll go over that, some of the things that I've heard coming out of there that aren't very good. We have to keep everybody in our thoughts and prayers. And it's a lot closer to home than what's going on over in the eastern part of Europe. I'll put it that way. So, how's everybody doing tonight? Susie, how you there? Interesting tidbits, Mr. Majestic Quilt. And I appreciate everybody tuning in. The Search for Truth. How you doing? Happy days. Susie, let's see. Tennessee, how you doing? Wanda. So, if you're just tuning in for your first time, welcome aboard. If you tune in after the broadcast, you can play this at 1.25 speed with my country cadence. You can still understand what's going on. But the other thing I've got in my thumbnails is special counsel with that Merrick Garland is pointing out for Joe Biden. Is that a way to tuck papers away and keep things underneath the table? Well, we can't talk about it because it's under investigation, even though when Mueller was doing his business every foggy day, somebody was leaking something to tear down Mr. T, if you'll remember. Hi, Nikki. How you doing? I hope I'm not keeping you up too late or working you too hard, Nikki. I'll try to go over some stuff. But a lot of you may have been that are here with us now were with me and Nikki on the prior show, and we talked about a lot of stuff from the founding of our country up to the current situation. Yes, Sharon, we're getting close to be worn out, but I tell you, people bring up some interesting things in the chats. And this situation with Joe, what's the next shoe to drop? This can't be the end of it. And I'm wondering if it's to obfuscate from some of the trouble that many of the current members of the House are going to be facing. A lot of the revelations bring up this thing about Biden and throw him to the wolves. So the wolves will run toward Biden and leave the little mechanics in the House alone, such as Adam Schiff, Jerry Nadler, you know the names, Eric Swalwell. We can go over the names, but you all know them as well as I do. What did I see from somebody named End Wokeness Democrats? 65 Democrats just voted against a committee to investigate China. So with all the stuff that we've got going on, throwing a new thing into the mix like a Biden classified documents scandal. Now they found out that Hunter, well, it was Hunter's house, wasn't it? I had a banner that I made a couple of days ago, probably 3 days ago, about the Biden papers. Biden papers, classified documents. How about Delaware? Now, I understand this house they went to was Delaware, but it wasn't Joe's house. From what I understand, it wasn't the house that he goes to 30% or 35% of the time during his so-called presidency. And that's been speculated many times that there's a lot of official business being conducted there, that there's not records kept as to who's coming, who's going, and whether or not they have a skiff at that location, and if there's any dealings with foreign entities. So that was what I was wondering about a couple of days ago. And then I heard they found a garage with the papers, and I said, oh, they did go in Delaware. No, I don't think they went into his residence. Cruz said HRC's server was there. Oh well, I didn't know that. What the where the Corvette was? They are dirty. Truth 55. Dirty. So they said the server was there. Let me get this straight. Haha, all pandas. I'll bring it. If I got it, I'll bring it, baby. Cruz said HRC's server was there. Are they talking about the Corvette location in Delaware or his main home? You know, Biden's mother was a multimillionaire. The family was wealthy. And if you have got credit cards, look at where everything gets handled. If there's a dispute where everything goes, almost all of them are Delaware. Ha ha ha, Lori. We're back at it. We're just joking about Joe, crazy Joe. And as I said in Nikki's broadcast, Mr. T has put out there an olive branch to Joe, and I think he's an escape hatch that the Democrats are taking advantage of, or it's rumored that they're taking advantage of. Trump said, I really think he's lost his mind. I really I don't think he knows where he is half the time. You know, he's put it out there that Joe is incompetent, and he has come out and said he doesn't have the mental capacity to serve. So they might jump on this. And as Trump said, when he did a visit to the border, he said that I don't got to worry about 25th Amendment, but be careful what you wish for. And he was talking to Joe. So I think the Washington Post reported that some Democrats are saying that it's time to get rid of Joe. Now, how are they going to do it? How are they going to get rid of Joe? Well, hey, he could say, I went to sleep. When I woke up, I couldn't move half my body, you know, or say he had a stroke, or come up with something, and that will get the heat right off him. It won't get the heat off of Hunter, though, because there's word out that he's subject to be indicted any time, and that would be state charges. Now, what's important about that? What is important about that? The president can't pardon somebody on state charges. Okay? That's what they were bragging about when they drug up all this garbage about Trump at a state level against everybody who was trying to help Trump, that they were hunting down. They were trying to put state charges against them, like Roger Stone, threatening to do against Don Jr., threatening to do against everybody that you could think of that was looking at problems. He can't pardon them because it's going to be state charges. Well, that's what the story is with Hunter. He is peeking outside his blinds, wondering what's going to happen. And people say, well, what do you think is going to happen? You think Trump's going to come back? You think this, you think that? Well, The key to any battle is surprise, if you can do it. So they're not going to let people know their moves, but they're going to have people awful nervous, sitting on pins and needles. And you know Hunter Biden's sitting on pins and needles, but I believe Hunter Biden has already been interviewed. Hunter Biden has already been told what his role is going to be. And that's why he arranged the meeting with Joe Biden himself and his brother, James, to shake hands and physically meet with Tony Bobulinski, who I feel is active duty and has the highest security clearance you can get to build a case. And I think Hunter, that was part of his leaving laptops behind on purpose, and part of his arranging that meeting for James and Joe to give evidence without a doubt their intention to launder money and to accept gifts, cash, income, whatever, in violation of the law. And it's all documented, all put down. So, okay, Hunter might go to jail, but I think that stuff's been hammered out. So the question was, now, of course, the Democrats are going to turn on Joe if they think it'll help them. There's no honor among them thieves. But who's calling the shots? Is it HRC? Use a 3 in that word, Wanda. Instead of EASON, put a 3 a 3 ASON. Ha ha. Because they'll come after me for that. But you're right. I just call it, they're taters. Taters. You got to stick R in there. And thank you, Robin. Hit the like button and subscribe. Share with your friends. Thank you, honey. I appreciate so much. And I appreciate everybody that's been helping me. I'll go ahead and put this up. Thanks to Aaron, Robin, Rockin' Robin, Kirsten, Wanda, Sandy, Norman, Dory, Pamela, Nikki B, Killer Fuzz, somebody 1, somebody 2 for helping me out. I got a buy me a coffee link in the description, and this is all viewer supported. I don't get anything from any platform, but anyway, thank you all so much. Where's my comments? I want to try to keep up with them. Oh, Mama is running the show, says Lori. I'm tending to agree with that. That's okay, Wanda. Like it never even happened, right? Now, listen, if we get any liberals in here, I want to have discussions with them. Now, if they cuss me and use foul language, I'll warn them and give them a few minutes and they come back. But any chance we get to talk to somebody who is, what was the word I used? In a trance. It's like they're in a trance. When they get up here and they start spewing stuff about Trump, and they have these canned answers. Like one guy said, brought up a bank account in China. That was the first thing they ran to. And I was like, that was years before Trump even announced he was going to be president. And if you're going to conduct any kind of business or talk about conducting business in the Republic of China, you have to open an account under their control. So they had an account with $200 in it. And that was 10 years ago or more, 15 years ago. I think Don Jr. opened the account up. And it turned out they couldn't do business in China. They probably didn't even get their $200 back. Yeah. So, but that's what they all try to smear Trump with. But when they come on here, I want to reach out to them. And if they're unreachable and foul mouth, they go. Some are, though, Lori. You never know. You never know. So let's see which Democrat comes out who is going to be the first Democrat to come out and actually say they think Joe has an infirmity to the point where he can't serve anymore? I honestly feel that's the next move. Who is going to be the Democrat to break the ice? Some of the news organizations are dancing around it. Thank you, Nikki. That's right. Hashtags or keywords. I trust you, Nikki. It won't be Kamala, says Lori. Kamala's been awful quiet. That's when you got to watch. That's when you got to watch them. When the big mouths get quiet all of a sudden. And how many saw Adam Schiff's little speech on the floor? He looked like he was going to lose his bowels. He was crying the blues. So nobody's got a suggestion as to who is going to be the first one. Condoleezza Rice is the warmonger who wants us to hit Russia head on. Yeah, she's it from the old Bush administration. I don't give her any credence. I mean, she was tough. She was performing her duties, but I didn't realize, a lot of us didn't realize that it was all a big phony bunch of neocon garbage. Now we're learning. So anyway, I don't know who's going to be the first one to. It will be Nancy. Yeah, Robin says it'll be Nancy. Reba says it'll be Nancy. She's on the way out, but okay. So we got like four votes that'll be Nancy. Why not? She's on the way out. Maybe that's what she's been told to do as part of the show. Well, Obama. Oh, you think Obama will be the first one to stab him? Well, I did play that video. The audio wasn't very good, but maybe I can clean it up a little bit and try it on another stream where he said, Joe, Joe. Uncle Joe, you can't give him too much responsibility. He did that about 3 weeks or a month ago, making fun of him, mock him. So it might be Obama. So that's the two candidates we got. It'll either be Nasty Nancy or Obama. So this business of Merrick Garland appointing a special counsel, that was quick. Although the documents were actually found a lot sooner than we were told. It's just now being dumped out. And the thinking is that they will use that as a way to not disclose what those documents contained because they're claiming they have to keep it quiet for their investigation. That's a possibility. But I think I'm the optimist. I think that when it's time to let the American people know, they will be told. Dark to light. How long will it be, Nancy Pants? Okay, so that is a strategy they're going to try to use, but it might not serve just now to let everybody know what was in those documents. And the special counsel has got not a good record. The special counsel was involved in messing with Devin Nunes, this person that was not this Crazy Jack. Crazy Jack is the one who's investigating Trump. But the one who's been appointed to investigate Biden is Robert Hur. He was part of a DOJ. This is from, let's see, who's this from? Posobiec? He's part of he called it the DOJ cabal that tried to wipe out, for lack of a better term, he said KILL, the Nunes memo. Yes, Robert Hur, B-Dog. Congress needs, Devin Nunes tells us Congress needs to subpoena records on Hur's involvement. He's like a fixer for the Democrats. Nunes worries that Biden's special counsel may be biased. Merrick Garland praised Robert Hur and said he was as even-handed as you could get. Well, don't tell that to Devin Nunes. Devin Nunes thinks he's dirty. So is this where, just like what I feel happened with the meeting between Joe Biden, James Biden, Hunter Biden, and Tony Bobulinski, is this where you draw them out to physically actually do something that is tangible and provable to show that they're a swamp creature? Hur is going to be put in a position where he's got to run cover for the old man. And it's hard to play according to Hoyle when you got to cover up that kind of dirt. Yeah, we want to see a raid on Potato Head. That's what Lori said. Where's Red? Is he back in the chats? He's probably asleep. Oh, there you are, Red. We thought you went to bed, Red. Yes, government is disaster. It looks really bad on America. I mean, it's showing the clown show. It is embarrassing. But we're not embarrassed because we've known a lot of this stuff. We've known a lot of stuff. People who've been thinking, oh, Trump was the baddie. Trump is the one who got 2 scoops ice cream and didn't care about people. He got the tall pepper shaker and all that stuff. They're thinking that was the worst of it. And now they're seeing what dirt really is. And somebody put in the card comments, I don't even think Trump can stop what's coming. Are you out there in the chats? Whoever put that in the hard comments? I should have checked that before I went live, but I ended up going live at almost 11 o'clock. If I tried to write down everything I want to say, so I just figured I'd go up without notes and wing it and see what everybody's got to say, or if there had been any other news. Like last night, I was on and found out that Lisa Marie Presley checked out suddenly. That's the term I'll use, checked out. 54 years old. Yes, Kate, it is bigger than Trump. And as Trump said, this is not about me. Taterhead also left confidential records in the bathroom stall at ice cream shop. Are you telling the truth, Lori? Or are you just making a joke? Ha ha. I want to know. He probably did. So let's see. Now, Devin Nunes, he's ringing the bell about this guy. Uh, Creepy Adam Schiff, a new release on the Twitter files provides further evidence that the company was aware that claims of Russian bots on the platform made by Democrats and the media were wildly exaggerated or outright fabrications. Nevertheless, Twitter continued to indulge the Democrat and mainstream media push conspiracy theory in public. So it's coming out that they were knowingly pushing a lie. And we're having arguments, discontent over a lie that has caused public upheaval. Okay? Where's James Comey? Yeah, he did ask about that. Well, that's like I said about Kamala. When they get quiet or start laying low, you go, something's going on. Because if nothing else, they like hearing themselves talk. He wrote his little book, A Higher Calling, or some garbage like that. Yeah, Pencil Neck is one of them. So James Comey, never know. He might be the first one to fall. Corny. James Corny. But anyway, what was the rest of this article here? Congressional trolls, in quotes, Twitter files show company new Democrat claims about Russian bots were false. The company knew, Schiff knew, and a lot of people are going to be looking at being sued personally. That's what I was talking about last night that I'll be up for. I'll be up for watching that. Where they lose their sovereign immunity because they knowingly and maliciously did something under the color of law to deprive another person of their constitutional rights. They don't have sovereign immunity under those conditions. So we're up for a big show, and everything else that we're looking at that we've discussed prior to this Biden drop is a plateful. And so we'll see how that turns out. So, Southern persecutions. I tell you, I want to read some posts I got. I had a telephone conversation with a nice young individual from Brazil, and didn't hear anything yesterday, which was disconcerting. And when I talked to him today, it confirmed that people are very nervous, that they are literally rounding people up. Okay, so I'm going to read to you some of the communications I got and tell a little bit about my phone call, which would last about, 20 minutes, a half hour, somewhere in there. That they are doing what every totalitarian regime does. What did Biden do during the red speech? He labeled everybody who was voted for his opponent, I'll put it that way. Everybody who voted for his opponent was a fascist. Okay? intimating criminal activity, that being for this person was somehow criminal behavior. They've stretched credibility in the boundaries of the law to deal with the people who are walking around at the Capitol, and they still have them in jail. And we have to see what our new Congress is going to do about those individuals. How many are still penned up? Do we know? Is it more than 500? In gulag-like conditions? And if they don't do anything about it right now, what's the purpose? Why not have that one of the first things you do, is to give these people at least the opportunity to bail out and go home? Or have some people been held so long that they don't have a home to go to? That is a serious consideration. Imagine yourself if a year and a half ago they came, banged on your door and drug you out of your house, and you couldn't work, you had no income, you couldn't pay your house payment, you couldn't pay your rent, you couldn't pay your car payment. What would happen to your living situation? Hi, Donna, how you doing? What would happen to your living situation after a year under those conditions, or a year and a half? So I'm going to refrain from saying any names, and I will say that this young individual, knew it was dangerous, but didn't feel he would ever see the day where his country would get to this point. It just wasn't in his mind. We never thought we'd see the day we saw what has happened to the J6 people. We never thought we'd see that day. So, but now it is nerve-wracking. One of the posts he put out was, "Excuse me for going silent yesterday, but I thought it was more prudent not to say anything while I was very upset with all that is going on. I know some people that have relatives and friends who got arrested in Brasilia, and also people who were arrested outside of the Capitol. They got intercepted by the federal police and were redirected to a police station." Okay, so there's the sentence construction, and some of the terms might be a little different because of a slight language barrier, but you get the gist. Over 1,400 people were arrested on the 9th. 684 were liberated and will answer for their, quote, crimes while free. All the others were arrested, and the men are in Papuda Detention Center, and the women are in what's called the Hive Detention Center. So it's over 700 people that they're not letting go. And they were all obligated to submit themselves. Now I got to say this kind of funny because you guys know what I'm talking about. But they were forced to take a certain treatment. Okay? Can you imagine that? If they haven't taken that treatment now, they don't want to. That thing the treatment they do to your shoulder, well, they were all forced. It's called the MR, and the other letters are NA treatment. They're facing charges of terrorism, criminal association, destroying public property, and attacking the democratic state. That's what they're being charged with. And all the video I've seen, they were all praying, they were all marching, they were all singing, they were all making their voices heard in a peaceful way. Everyone I saw. I didn't see any videos of anybody doing anything. So it goes on to say, it's being said that those who participated and posted it on their social media are now being arrested at home because of public denouncements, and also because the federal police is closely monitoring the digital landscape. So if they look at your Facebook page, they have control of just about everything. There are a few ways to get word out where you can't be monitored or tracked, and that's what I'm working with them on now. But the options aren't very, very big. Around 800 in the country, FBI are still arresting. You talk about, Julie, you talk about American prisoners for our situation? Or Brazil, they're going to arrest thousands in the plural, thousands with an S on the end. And my friend is very concerned, as any rational person would be. They're using all the state's apparatus to hunt for all Bolsonaro supporters. I was really paranoid about all this. Not because I'm giving superpowers to the state in my mind, but we all can be victim of social denouncements. I don't know if this is making sense, but leftists here are denouncing everybody to the police. Even those that are just posting on their social media, people who never went to the demonstrations. So can you imagine if in this country, people like what were coming in my chats yesterday and have come in back in the past were able to call an authority and claim that I am attacking the state or denouncing the state. It's all they got to do. And your door flies open and you get drug out of your house. And the first thing you do is give you that treatment in your shoulder. So it goes on to say, after 71 days, the left, alongside with the Supreme Court, have obliterated the Patriots movement. And we're talking millions of people they have cowed, going back in their homes and shutting their doors and being afraid to post. People are scared and without any means to fight back. We are in a terrible shape here, folks. People are so frustrated, especially with the military. So the notion here is that the military has not stepped up. And I discussed that admiral that vowed to not recognize this situation, and he's been relieved of his post. I'm just reading the chats. Yeah, this is in our hemisphere. This is our neighbor. Okay, this is a country that we're allies with. It's happening. They're going to go after business owners and people of means. He goes on to say, the military lied to those people at camp and asked them to enter police buses, saying that these buses would take them to a safe place. And if you remember, I said that the military was protecting people that were on military property. So now the understanding is they put them on buses and said, we're gonna take you somewhere safe, and they end up going to a place to get processed. Most of the folks arrested on January 9th weren't even protesting at Esplanada. They were taking shelter at the camp because they got really scared of what happened on Sunday. Now the camp, he's talking about the military base, but the military didn't care and gave these same people the treatment the rioters deserved. Some of them are grandpas and grannies already. The ones who have been imprisoned and got put on buses. So the military lied to them and turned them in, basically. Don't get on the bus. That's right. So if in this country they'll keep them for a year or a year and a half, what do you think they're going to do? The lawyers defending the Patriots are saying that custody hearings are happening that are just a formality and they will remain arrested. The Supreme Military Tribunal denied a special request for habeas corpus. In other words, habeas corpus has been suspended. It just somebody pointing a finger at you and you go. They're justifying by saying only Egghead can decide this. And they call Egghead is the Supreme Court justice who refused to hand over the source, CODEs, for the machines, source codes. I'm sorry I said that, but I said it. So they call him Egghead. His name is Moraz or something like that. Other news is that Lou Loser, that's why I call him Lou Loser, is fearing insubordination from the troops, and even the mainstream media is saying this. But guys, I don't believe them. I really don't. I doubt something will happen in a near future. So he's saying that the press is putting out, and this Lou Loser is putting out comments that the military has got them nervous, but they think it's just a show. And in the past, I've heard people in Brazil refer to Operation Trust, which many of you may know something about. I'll get into in a prior broadcast, but that was basically where people were being told there was going to be something happening, and it was all just to keep up everybody quiet while they consolidated power. So this young man goes on to say that it was all so easy. This is important. In retrospective, it was also easy. We were actually being boiled slowly. The communists knew that one day people would return to their homes, but the opportunity for them to destroy our movement appeared last week. So he goes on to talk about a person who was acting like they were for the people who were protesting and rallying them and getting them to come to the Capitol, and all of a sudden just fell off the map. Kind of like Ray EPPS. But hopefully I'll be able to discuss this in a limited way if we can work out where I can have some people from Brazil on the show as a guest where you guys can ask questions. And you got to be very careful how you ask questions so we don't get in trouble. And we'll be very careful not to put this person in any kind of jeopardy. Okay? We'll protect this channel and we'll protect that individual. But we'll try to get the word out so that average Americans will understand. So then there's a interesting post about the Brazilian Air Force One. The Brazilian Air Force One took Bolsonaro's to Florida, and it's been tracked that it came back last week, but it did not land in the capital. And there's speculation that Lou Loser has not been given access to Brazilian Air Force One, BA-1. Oh, I should have said Brazil. Okay, I think if I only do it one or two times, it won't hurt me that bad. But anyway, so that's a thing that's been going on. Now, they put out here a word of caution. Brazil, do not share my posts. The tribunals can track the channel using a meta tag. And I won't say what he said. Just don't do it. If I discover this is happening, I will close this channel and move to a private one without any of you. I'm writing on capital letters because, not because I'm mad, because this is serious. Then he says, actually, I'm in a very good mood today. If you can, folks, please pray for God to warm the hearts of the patriots who were arrested. Other than the conversation we had, that's what is being put out to the general public. And in our discussions, really what these individuals have been feeling, they saw this coming, a takeover, a communist takeover. They had hopes with the protests and the calls for a general strike. I don't think they realized how brutal the crackdown would get. Now they do. But even prior to the election, they were saying that their only real hope was going to be the United States. And specifically, Donald Trump. Now, I'm when I talk to people, I'm all with Trump. I'm down with it, but I'm putting forth what Trump is putting forth, that he's not going to be around forever, and that we got to take the training wheels off of our movement and start riding this bike ourselves. And that's what that political exercise at the House was, to show that Trump was not the only option, not just for the Republican Party, but for all Americans. And that's what makes me think that there's going to be somebody on the other side come out that a lot of Americans can turn to also to unify our country and to help catch this dangerous animal. How do you catch a dangerous animal? You trap them. So that's where I hold my hope out. And it is unfortunate that the people of Brazil have to go through what they're going through. I think there's going to be a period of time of arrests and deprivations. My advice to the people of Brazil that I can speak to is not to give them a reason, not to go outside and dare them. Hey, a lot of people here in America say we should do this as individuals. We got firearms. We've got, talking about doing something kinetic. Believe me, all they need is a reason and an excuse. If you can go to your nation's capital with a water bottle, drinking water and chanting and saying, hey, and then next thing you know, you're sitting in a joint for a year and a half, 2 years. They'll use any flimsy excuse they can. So I'm hoping and praying for my friend and all the people of Brazil. Their idea of a general strike is probably the best course of action they can take right now, because as had been said, if they don't shut their businesses down now, they are going to shut down later, just like Venezuela, because that type of system can't survive. It causes deprivation. It causes poverty. You try to run a business, the people you're trying to deal with will be too broke to buy anything from you. So that means your business will fail and will close at some point. So you have to understand that there are thousands of people this very night. A lot of them are going to go to jail. So anyway, let me just check the chats. Yeah, this is globalism. But if the people go on a general strike, what are they going to do about millions of people who are just not going to play the game? But you can't underestimate how vicious these people can be. And I a couple of days ago, I talked to different people and said, be careful. Don't underestimate them, because they're vicious. And the only way they can hold on to power is by force, to subjugate people. They're not going to stay in power by providing prosperity. They can't. It's not built into their system. That's right, all pandas lie. Your local sheriff is the key to your micro world. Get to know him and her. They can deputize. And the thing is, you get to know them and participate in the elections for sheriff, because we do have great and wonderful law enforcement. And I had a bunch of people drop off the chats about 4 or 5 videos ago when I showed a video of a cop threatening somebody who was loading their boat up because that cop apparently was having a bad day. Those are the kind of people we got to keep out of law enforcement. But we do have good law enforcement. We do have good sheriffs. But know who your sheriff is and know the inside scoop on them, so you can make sure you got people in there that are good. Because we're going to have to fall back on them. I bet, Wanda, there are some. The sheriff in Maricopa County is a Soros plant. All right, guys. I appreciate your time. And Just checking to see if anybody's got any questions or made any worldwide upset. That's right. Worldwide upset. We haven't gotten anywhere near the precipice, folks. That's what I'm saying. Just the speech that Trump gave haunts me. It haunts me because he said they just don't see it yet, but they will. This was not even a month ago. We haven't gotten down to what he said we would have to face, World War III. Nothing's happened in Taiwan. That's going to happen. Brazil South America is a tinderbox right now with the pink tide and the installed leaders and the suppressed people. So anyway, all right, folks, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. I appreciate y'all being with me tonight, spending your precious time with me and walking through history with me. And I will be posting again soon. And please keep in mind that I may be having a special guest. And think about what kind of questions you want to ask that aren't going to cause problems sometime next week, if we can do it in a secure way. And I'll have some questions. I already know what I want to ask and communicate the current climate of what's happening. Okay? And hopefully this person will still have freedom of movement and we'll be able to set up something where he can visit us and talk to us and let us know what's going on in a safe way. Okay, folks? All right. You all have a great evening. Thank you for joining me. This is Mountain Man, over and out.